So Georgia has taken the final knee in this game. What is going on, Gamecock fans, and welcome to the Touchdowns to Home Runs Gamecocks postgame show. Today we got the Georgia Bulldogs and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Gamecocks lose. Obviously, as a Gamecocks fan, it sucks to watch us lose constantly, but I feel like there still is. I feel a lot better coming off of this game than I did, let's say, the Texas A&M game. Even the Ole Miss game, even though that game was a lot closer and a lot more of an offensive shootout, we put up a lot more points offensively. I still feel somewhat optimistic after coming off of this game. And I don't know if that's just because I like seeing something change from the Gamecocks now that we have Luke Doty in. I like seeing that the guys that are going to be the future of this program getting in and getting reps and getting used to what it's like playing in an SEC game. But I feel strangely optimistic in this game. I don't know. Drop a comment in the comment section down below or a like or anything if you kind of feel the same way. Even though the Gamecocks did lose 45-16, that was the final score. It just, something feels different. Yes, I'm sad that we lost, but I just feel this sense of optimism that Luke Doty is showing lots of good signs as being a quarterback. Kevin Harris, oh my gosh, even though he only rushed for 53 yards this whole game, like he caught for 30, he didn't have as good of a game that he had against, let's say, Ole Miss, but just watching, if you actually went and watched those plays rather than look at the box score, that guy finishes runs. That guy is crazy good at breaking tackles. That guy is an athlete. He's going to be exciting for Gamecock football in the future. I feel like I say this every single post-game show, but in the coming years, Kevin Harris and Marshawn Lloyd together is going to be very lethal in the SEC, and that is going to be a huge part for our offense, because when you have a quarterback that can run in Luke Doty and then two superstar running backs, the passing game opens up so much more, and especially when the Gamecocks passing game, looking forward to the future, it doesn't look as strong as it was with, let's say, Debo, Brian Edwards, and Shai. I know those three guys don't come around every year. Those guys are three talented ball players, and it's hard to get talent like that constantly. So our receiving game is going to take a step back, but I feel like our rushing game has taken a huge step forward. Even guys like Saquandre Wright and Rashad Amos, holy, those guys, Rashad Amos had a huge run when we got pinned to the 2-yard line after a crappy kickoff return. He ran for like a 20+ yard play, got us out of there. Zaquandre White had some good runs today. He's an athlete. Love seeing him play. Get more time in there. Nick Muse on seniors night. I thought he was injured in this game. I must have been mistaken on that, but he had 8 receptions, 131 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown, 16.4 average per catch. Love seeing him get the ball. Last game at Willie B. He was actually a pretty good Gamecock. For what he was able to do, he was a guy that made some pretty big plays at pretty big times when we needed it. He was always a reliable guy for us the last 2 years, so it's good to see Nick Muse have a good game for his last game as a Gamecock. Who else do we got here? Jalen Brooks receiving-wise, only 3 receptions, 14 yards. Van had 1 for 5. Amos had 1 for 5. And Caldwell had 1 for 5. Not much receiving-wise. We didn't expect that. But Luke Doty, let's dive into his stats. 18 for 22. He did have one. He's had problems. He's going to throw, especially in your second game in the SEC, your first start. You're going to have some bad interceptions, especially going up against a good Georgia defense and a good Missouri defense. He had another pretty bad interception. He just didn't read that corner drew off the coverage from Jalen Brooks. Jalen just stopped in the, after his route. He kind of gave up on it, so that made the corner know, okay, this ball isn't coming to him, so he dropped back and played coverage on whoever the ball was intended to, and he picked off Doty there. You're going to have sometimes those bad reads, but it's going to get better as it goes on. Doty's arm, I thought, was a lot better today. 18 for 22, obviously. He only incomplete 4 passes, 190 yards, 8.6 average, and he did have that 1 touchdown pass to Nick Muse late. He had a really nice deep ball throw against, I'm pretty sure that was a double reverse flea flicker. I love the aggression from Bobo there. I love what he's trying to do. Hey, make the defense think. Go out, play some aggressive plays. I like it. Give me a reason to watch the game, and plays like that definitely give me a reason because it's exciting. It moved the ball downfield. Obviously, I said this in all my keys for this game. You're going to have to connect on a few deep balls. They did connect on that one. I don't think we threw enough deep balls, and I credit that a bit to Georgia's secondary. They did have a really good game. Even though that team was beat up, they don't have the count in this game. They're missing a ton of guys on defense. That defense did get after the quarterback a lot. They sacked Doty a couple times in that game. Defensive wise, we had so many players out. Obviously, Izzy, JC, RJ all gone due to the opt-out. Kinsley and Ekbare out for this game. Jordan Birch out for this game. And then Ernest Jones goes down. Oh, that sucked to see. He's a guy who puts his heart and soul out on the line. He's the leader of that defense. He's a guy who puts his heart and soul out on the line each and every single game. And to see him go down really, really hurt. I love Ernest Jones. Always going to respect him. He's a guy that really shows what it's like to be a Gamecock player, a good Gamecock leader. So Ernest Jones, I hope his injury is fast and speedy and he's able. It was seniors night. Guys like Sadarius Hutcherson, he's the leader of this team. Obviously, you saw what he said in the postgame last week that won a lot of Gamecock fans over. But even before that, I was a big fan of Sadarius Hutcherson. He's a guy, he's a beast in the weight room. Like, I remember watching a video or something of asking our strength coach from last year, who later got replaced by Paul Jackson, but he was like, who's the biggest beast on this team in the weight room? And he was like, Sadarius Hutcherson. He benches, blah, 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 blah. And he's a good player. He's just a good leader on that offense. So Sadarius Hutcherson, I'm going to be really sad to see him go. Love him. Obviously, there's no stats to really point out his name and everything because he's an offensive lineman, but the rushing game did good, and I guess you could attribute that to the offensive line. JT Daniels, 10 for 16, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jamie Robinson got a pick. I can't remember. I know that was a sideline play. It was towards the end of the second half. It's just like a tip ball or something. Jamie caught it and was able to get a foot in bounds. Love watching that from him. Jamie Robinson, great player for the Gamecocks. Excited to see his future for the Gamecocks. James Cook, that was really, the whole game came down to Georgia's rushing game. 332 yards to our 83. Georgia just ran the ball all over us. Cook, Dalvin Cook's cousin, I'm pretty sure, had 104 yards and only 6 carries, 17.3 average, 2 touchdowns. Zamir White had 13 carries for 84 yards, 2 touchdowns. McIntosh had 79 yards. Edwards had 77. Yeah, like, you're going to have to stop the run. I know we had tons of injuries up front and everything. We had guys all over the field that this is their first time, but I'm okay with like that. That's why I said I'm somewhat optimistic about this game, because we're getting those guys reps that are going to need experience coming into next year and everything. Especially our 2021 class is gone. Like, we have no one in our 2021 class. They've all decommitted. But the one guy who hasn't decommitted yet is Gunnar Stockton, and 5-star quarterback. Hopefully he can stay. I'm praying that he stays, because that would be a huge help. But Luke Doty, great game from him. Overall, the Gamecocks go to Kentucky next week. Kentucky had a pretty rough game against Florida today, so this game could be winnable. These are two struggling teams right now. We go down to Kentucky. We haven't beat Kentucky in Kentucky for a while, so you know what? Let's go down to Kentucky. Let's go into Lexington, and let's come out with a win for our last game of the season. Why not? Let's go out, have a great game, Luke Doty. Hopefully the defense will step up in that one, because Kentucky's offense isn't that good. I watched the game today. This is my third post-game show of the day. I did Florida-Kentucky this afternoon. Then I did South Carolina-Liberty in the basketball game. Obviously, that wasn't a great game. And then I just did South Carolina-Georgia. By the way, Gamecocks merch, hit it up, or even touchdowns to home run merch. Hit it up in the link in the description. It would mean a lot to me. It would help support me on this channel, and you guys get some great Gamecocks merch. I think it's only like $15 for the shirts right now, so definitely go take advantage of that. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I appreciate it. Like the video down below, comment, and subscribe, and come back next time.